Hello, good evening. Welcome to another date on Journalist Hangout. It's a Wednesday. It's June the 20th, the 7th day of the World Cup. I just thought I should rub that in. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. On the program today, President Buhari signs 2018 budget and accuses National Assembly of padding. Osinbajo, Oyegun, Tinubu and others urge Ekiti electorate to reject PDP and vote Fayemi, but Atiku urges APC to accept it when defeated in Ekiti. Later on, you'll hear this federal government to shut Nigerian border over rice smuggling. I'm hanging out with Kolade Otitoju. Well, the first name is Babajide. I greet you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. We also have Mobolade Omonija. That's right now. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Of course, a familiar face, Sam Ibemere. I greet you, Sam.
A pleasure.
Now the team is ready. I guess you are. So let's go. Now, the contentious 2018 budget has been finally signed into law by Mr. President, but not without acrimony. The document, signed on Wednesday, saw a greatly displeased President Muhammadu Buhari show his concerns about some of the alterations made to the original document he sent to the National Assembly some months ago. In tampering with the estimates, essential projects were fiddled with, while non-essential ones were inserted. Jide is the same old road. We talk about deficit budgets, and you're wondering when we are going to overcome that.
Yes, last year they did something similar, and at that time they described, they told Fashola that he was not the Southwest Minister of Power, Works and Housing, and that he was Minister of the entire country. So they slashed the budget for the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Now,
that's last year.
Last year. They got away with that. Now they've come up with 70 new roads. They've inserted 70 new roads into the current budget. And what the president is saying is they have now drastically cut allocation to strategic road projects. Because, look, not all roads are critical and strategic. So if you cut allocation to strategic roads, at the end of the day, the implementation, the execution of that project will be affected. Yeah. In fact, the president is saying that because of what they have done, some projects in the budget, that it is just not possible to execute those projects. And then one of the areas that the president also complained about is the infrastructure for security infrastructure for unity schools. Remember, some of the states of the yes, 104 unity schools, and some of the states in the north, boarding facilities have been abrogated because the schools are presumed not safe enough to have boarding facilities, because terrorists will come in the middle of the night and take these children away. So he's saying that at a time when Nigerians are saying we should protect these schools, protect the children in these schools, why would they go and cut the budget for security infrastructure for those 104 schools? So clearly, the president is not happy, but he tried to kind of disguise his anger. But in coming up with about, I think it's 22 subheadings reflecting his anger about what the National Assembly has done, you cannot say that he was a happy man. Of course, he said that in the beginning that in submitting the budget document early, he wanted a situation in which Nigeria could actually implement the January to December fiscal cycle. Yeah. But look at the time that we are just signing the budget. So clearly we have not achieved our aim. But I think that we need to do a lot more work to bring our budgeting process up to the international standard, because what we are doing now every year, does not reflect the fact that our country is the giant of Africa. It's a shameful thing that's going on. If projects that are meant for local governments and states are being inserted into the federal budget and imposing a huge burden on the federal government, then it's just not right.
Quite a lot to discuss, Jide. Mobolade, it is not the business of the National Assembly to dream up projects. It's the business of the federal government to do that. Absolutely. I know the National Assembly has the function of appropriation and so on, oversighting many of these things. What are we reading here?
No, on the issue of who can insert projects, it's been a little debatable of recent times. In theory, absolutely, it's the executive that comes up with policies. It's the executive that came up with the economic recovery and growth plan and knows what could come in, and like a jigsaw puzzle, you begin to fix those things. Any external figure that tries to do it will rather distort. But the National Assembly has always argued, and they are backed by some lawyers, that if you have the power of appropriation, then you should also be able, as representatives of the people, to come up with certain things.
Yeah, but you know, this table also provokes debates.
No, I know.
Yeah, because I was going to also add that if you have a Minister of National Planning, Budget and National Planning, so why not cede him to the National Assembly? Why is he a member of the executive?
No, you have Minister of National Planning.
And Budget.
Budget. No, you have budget. No, you have the Minister of Budgets.
And National Planning.
And National Planning.
Yeah.
Okay. Udo Doma.
Yeah.
Who does that? No. But the problem is, like I said, there is a debate going on. But I believe that apart from all that, the issue is that you could see self-interest in all this. The critical national interest should supersede every other thing. There are critical projects like Babajide just said, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, for example, the East-West Road that had always been there, and this year you wanted to move it a little further. So the National Assembly is cutting it backward. The second Niger Bridge is also one of those things.
Mambila project.
The marginal project that is supposed to inject so much
has an installed capacity of
5,000
can
megawatts.
Supply the whole of the north.
Exactly.
With electricity.
So these are issues, and then you now have the National Assembly that should rather complement the executive, trying to compete with the executive. It's unfortunate. It's unacceptable.
Sam, from 135 billion naira for the National Assembly, it's been jacked up to 139.5 billion.
Yeah, I mean...
at the time, we are talking about tightening belts here and there.
It's a shame, really, and that fact has been noted. We have, a set of lawmakers who are basically thinking about themselves, over time, and the question has been, why will this entire exercise be about a group of people who just want to accumulate so much for themselves? I mean, we've just come out of a discourse, that threw up how much each, senator earned, about 13.5.
Well, to quote my brother, it's still debatable.
Yeah, no, but that's a lot of money. So you're wondering, you're moving from that figure and you're asking for a lot more. And the concerns
to
here...
do what with?
Yeah, the concerns
and
here...
Every year they add to it.
Yeah, to pocket...
Every year they add to their budget.
For themselves. And the defense that have been put up by the lawmakers who, reacted to the president's reaction is that they are constrained by the way their constituents, will react to the budget. And you wonder who the members of who these constituents are. So it's really very disturbing. A lot of money. We're talking about 4,700 projects, which the president said they had originally, budgeted. And then you yank it off, increase it to 6,403 projects, and then you mark it up by 578 billion naira. Yeah. And all you could say, to questions being raised is that you are constrained. Constrained by what? We all know it's about selfish interest.
Yes.
And that is very disturbing. But beyond that, there's also this worry, about how the executive and the legislature are trying to deal with this matter, because about national interest. Some time ago, I think that it had to do with last year's budget, where there was also this claim about padding. And then the presidency, after expressing reservation, were planning to seek, interpretation of what the extent of powers of the National Assembly are. And you wonder why that initiative has not been followed up. If there are arguments over limits of powers that can be exercised by an arm of government, there's a Supreme Court.
Sam,
we can take that matter there.
Logic, even if it is kindergarten, is to say between 1999 and yesterday, in a manner of speaking, what had they been doing? Absolutely. If they couldn't have solved that matter, lay to rest once and for all time.
That is the worry. Why will the executive keep short, the National Assembly keep short, and Nigerians are made to debate among themselves who has right to do this or to do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
when the laws are there.
The laws are there. Let's have it clearly defined.
And a cynic, Jide, once said, if you have so many, 10,000 laws to effect 10 commandments, something is wrong. If you understand the imagery.
Yes, they must have held back because they weren't sure when the direction the pendulum will swing. So sometimes it makes sense to just let that matter lie, But given what has happened this year, because introducing 6,403 projects of your own, look, there's no way that you can justify that. 6,403 projects of your own. And what we are saying is you come up with road projects without any form of conceptualization. No design of any sort. No environmental project assessment. Projects, before you come up with a project, those are the things that you first take care of. Yeah. And they form part of the cost in the final analysis of the project. A project not designed at all, there's no way that it can be properly executed, because at the end of the day, you now see that variations of all sorts will come. Yeah. That's why we have this problem of project not being executed in due time, abandoned, awarded again, and re-awarded, until those roads continue to kill our people. If, like, those who travel from Kaduna to Maiduguri by road, they know how important the Kaduna-Kano expressway is. Yeah. There's another expressway that takes off from Kano all the way to Maiduguri. That one is not completed. Now, the Kaduna-Kano expressway is in such a bad state now. It was completed in 1990. At that time, it looked like the best expressway in the country. But if you see it now, there are gullies in different parts. Now, those are among the mega projects that the government, seeks to take care of in this budget. Yeah. But you now target those big projects and begin to shave some monies off them for some funny projects that you designed. Now people can see, when you remember the maritime university project, remember the controversy that is steered between Rotimi Amechi and the Minister of Kachiku. Yeah. At that time, Kachiku said, see, if you think that you don't need this project, my own ministry will take it up. And you eventually had to go and do a documentary on that university. Yeah. That same university now, these lawmakers have cut the take-off grant and allocated what they have cut to something else. We simply can't continue like this.
And then
counterpart funding, what has delayed the Mambila project, the hydro project for so long? Yeah. Because we always refuse to pay counterpart funding. Yeah. We cannot fund this entire project on our own. And we will now go to take part of what has been allocated as counterpart funding for that project for something else.
And what the president is saying is a metaphor for what's going on around the country at the state level. I know that budgets are padded.
It effectively deepens the concern of every Nigerian. That if the president can come out, most of us didn't know that these things were there. And sometimes the figures don't entirely tell the story.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
now,
when you break down.
Because if you say, oh, 578 billion, it won't tell the whole story. But when you now begin to talk about the number of projects, 6,403 projects inserted into the budget. I mean, we shouldn't be having all this.
Manager, again, the debate must continue, whether Party A has powers to do this and Party B has powers not to do that. But mine is, and it should concern every conscientious Nigerian, the relationship between the executive and the National Assembly.
Yes,
we need it. But let me, I hear Kwara is online, and his name is Olanrewaju. I greet you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, I greet you.
Yes, Olanrewaju is speaking.
Yep.
Yes, I commend the position of the guests in the House. I can see how they feel about the recent comment made by Mr. President. But sincerely speaking, as a Nigeria too here, I think there are certain projects that Mr. Babajide described to be something funny that is very, very paramount to us. From where I come from here, there's a certain road, maybe 100 meters, there are very few, but very significant to the people around that place. And you know, we voted for these people in our own various capacity. They are representing Nigerian various capacity. Their interest, to the interest of people that voted them in, must be considered. But I want to appeal very strongly to both legislative arm and executive arm that they need to place the interest of this country ahead. The situation of frozen relationship between them cannot be any way assist us. And I'm happy that Mr. President demonstrated maturity by saying that he's going to send the list, supplementary list perhaps, so that these people will be considered there.
Yeah, Olanrewaju, I hope you know that as we speak, they have, your senator has a constituency allowance already given to him, right?
Yes.
He already has.
Constituency allowance or constituency
we got you first time.
They take money for constituency projects. And beyond that, look at the allocation to the National Assembly. Every year they jack it up. When the president felt that 60 billion for constituency projects was enough, they didn't agree. They went ahead, they stalled and stalled and stalled until the president agreed to allocate 100 billion. That was in the budget of last year. So if all the time your own budget gets jacked up, then it suggests that selfish interest is at play. We are not saying that they cannot start projects because it appears that is what she thinks. But 6,403 projects inserted into the budget, and some of these projects are meant for local government and states, like sinking of boreholes, for example.
You know, if we have spent the last 18 to 19 years, Sam and Omonijo, attempting to fix the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, we are saying that a 19-year-old boy or girl would have been born and graduated without the road being fixed. Not because government does not want to.
Actually, like she said, just to reply directly to what she said.
Is it a she or a he? Sounding like a she. Okay. All right.
Now, there are some projects, yes, that may be very important to some local people, some locality. I can sympathize with that. But it doesn't mean that the mega projects also are not important to them. The East-West Road affects everybody along the road.
It's a major artery.
It's a major artery road.
Let me tell you this. East-West Road, if it is fixed, Jide, Sam, Omonijo, I don't need Delta, Imo, Anambra to get to Akwa Ibom. I just go through Patani, Warri, the coast, Ogoni, and into Ikorabasi. That's what we are saying.
That's what we are saying.
The second Niger bridge has been on for a while.
If I desire to go by the bridge, gentlemen, I don't need the Niger bridge. I bypass Onitsha. And to make the trip...
These are the issues. And it affects economic life,
we must take it
life of all the people along all the states in Nigeria, if you take all these mega projects. But when you fix the small ones at the expense of these, it again affects them And those people that you think that you are satisfying,
Sam, so we bury this.
them adversely.
As I ask you to consider this, well, I know the debate is not for this table today, but we can broach it. How about suggesting to the National Assembly, make politics a part-time thing? Let them make the law. The president is ready to sign, so they can be more busy, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, that argument has been on for years. You know, we have a set of lawmakers who appear to be idle most of the time. And I think, and most Nigerians do also think so. Yeah, that
they don't go there regularly.
Yeah, that the solution to this is to begin to find ways to get them to do more, or get it started in the Constitution, you know, to be a part-time issue, because this entire thing is hitting up the polity, and the entire country is paying a huge price for it.
Thank you. And making politics a full-time business in our jurisdiction is not healthy at all. Now, still to come, parties intensify campaign for the July 14th election in Ekiti State. Stay with us. All right then, with 24 days to go to the Ekiti State governorship election, the atmosphere in the state is near ecstatic, as they say. The incumbent PDP leadership with outgoing Governor Ayo Fayose is fervently digging, even as it talks tough, and the opposition APC hoping to upstage the former by returning former Governor Kayode Fayemi spares no effort in oiling its war chest. Vice President Oshibajo, Party Chairman Oyegun, National Leader, Party Leader Senator Bola Tinubu, and other APC bigwigs took its campaign train to Ekiti, urging the electorate there to vote out the PDP on D-Day, July 14. But former Vice President Atiku Abubakar wants the APC to beware of complacency, accept defeat in good faith, he adds, Jide.
Yes, I think that within the PDP, they think that the election is already sewn up. And they also think that the APC is determined to rig. If you talk to them, that is what they say all the time. The governor has been saying, look, let all the election observers in this world come to Ekiti, because I think these people have perfected a plan to rig. Now, I heard Awe speaking yesterday that, look, we have no plan to rig. We just want to come, we just want to defeat you and ensure that APC takes Ekiti. But what I want to take out of the whole thing is...
Goes beyond having a clean sweep. I mean, I'm thinking of the old Lubo states. Yeah. You know, the other 5 are APC.
You know, and by the old Lobo state, including the Edo and Bende, what used to be the same UPN. Now, that will help the Southwest integration that they've been talking about, that the governor of Osun State has championed, that even Memeko, as a PDP governor, was really interested in. So that would really help. But I think that in the end, what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said is what really matters. He said, what is the point in coming here today if on election day you do not have a PVC? And there are still many PVCs lying there, unclaimed. In the Southwest, especially in Lagos State, so many PVCs unclaimed, even in Ekiti, more than 500,000 claimed, but there are still some PVCs lying there. So he is encouraging them to go out there, because the PVC is your red card. If you want to change the government, that is what you need to use. I think that in the end, when you look at what transpired, the language of Oshiomhole was very shameful. Yeah, he said Ekiti people are too educated to be voting, to have a governor who is a roadside plantain maker. When our leaders begin to talk like this, the people, those who sell plantain for a living, will start feeling diminished. Oshomole needs to go back into history. He needs to read. The man who was president of Brazil was a cobbler, a shoemaker. Stop diminishing our people by statements that you don't need to utter. You are now likely to become the next APC leader, APC national chairman. An APC national chairman should not be using gutter language. Use dignified language in a campaign season. That is what we want to see. Don't diminish the opponent. Don't diminish the people. I remember a pastor made a mistake one day in 1999. He was saying, oh, I would rather be a banker than an Okada rider. Okada riders in his church, they left in droves. Next time he would know how to open his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
They left. And they were clearly many. Those are the people, the downtrodden people, those are the people that Fayose invests his hopes on. He does not invest his hope on the elites.
Yeah.
Just similar to Buhari, the elites don't like him, as I said yesterday. The elites in the north don't like him. But the downtrodden masses, the poor people, they like him. So if he's not careful, it will actually be helping, be giving Fayose. Fayose something to use to campaign. You see, they think that those of you who sell plantain, you don't matter. Look at the language. So that is it. People have to be tactical. When they mount the soapbox or somebody puts a microphone in their mouths, they should know what to say.
In propriety, you wonder if indeed, to quote the former governor of Abia State, if you don't really need a chartered institute of politicians. I don't know.
There's nothing like that anymore.
No.
There's nothing like
so
that.
you might as well ask.
Statement.
Good. But again, Omonija, mine is this. Let's look at Fayemi, his second coming. So it has gone beyond the propriety or not of his running. It's about the Ekiti people.
Yes, it's about
you got to hear things like Fayemi is too elitist. See, didn't you hear that?
That's the essence of politics.
Okay.
The people decide ultimately. Now, if it was elitist and people say that the other one is too pedestrian, no, the people have to make a choice. But whether it's too elitist or not, that's why we have electioneering. Let's look at the issues. Let the issues come up. That's what I love about electioneering. Let people come up and begin to debate, what are we doing? What did we do? What did we not do? Let's present the balance sheet. Fortunately, both parties have run the state over the period. So let's see what they have done. Now, we need to go beyond the frills and the thrills and focus a little more on the substance. Yeah. It's important as we move on. We have 24 days to thrash out these issues. The APC has been going from town to town. I believe the PDP will also go. There will still be grand finales of the campaigns, of the rallies. But before then, in between, let people ask questions. Let them submit their manifestos. Let the parties also come in, dignified as in other places. Let's show that democracy is deeply in our society and that we are moving forward.
After all, we say Ekiti is the state of the
fountain of knowledge.
Yeah.
So they say. I'm not too sure we've seen much of that anyway.
Sam, again...
Consistently, the Abias and the Imos of this world have been...
They say they read book.
Well.
Yes. They say they read book. Sam can say yes to that. I'll say yes.
If you look at admissions and all that,
school enrollment, admission, performance, and the examinations.
You hear things like Abia is an educationally advantaged,
Anambra now.
And my state, Akwa Ibom, is not. We'll go to the court over that. Not for today, please. But mine is, can you give character, Sam, to the change revolution of the APC ahead of this election?
Change revolution of the APC. If I understand you,
because
it
was there yesterday, it was voiced yesterday. Okay. Vote APC into power so that you can benefit from the change revolution.
Yeah, my concern here is not to make the mistake of turning out to be a campaign manager for a particular party. So we have to be very careful here.
The viewers, I mean the electorate should decide.
Yeah. But the truth is that the APC mantra of change is one that raises a lot of hope, and every Nigerian, whether at the local level or the national level, has expected so much. And for the people of Ekiti, it's judgment time. What is going to determine, in my view, what will play out is the impact that governance has had on the people. It's not going to be about those of us who are warriors, on the internet, on the social media. A lot is said, but the people.
Let me quickly take Johnson. He's waiting patiently. Johnson, I greet you. Welcome. Hello, Brother Johnson. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm still
here. Okay, let's go. Go on. I don't think you are quite ready for us. Yeah, so as you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying that what I believe will play out is the impact that governance has had, on the people of the states. We talked about the culture of, ruffle, which seemed to have, caught up with our people for a very long time. But we believe that the election that is coming up is one that is going to test our response to issues of integrity, fairness, credibility, and the rest of them. So we expect that
accountability.
And we expect that the umpire is going to be very unbiased, and that allegations of plot to rig, will not come to pass. Yeah. So there's heightened expectation, and one hopes that the Ekiti elections, is going to place the government in a good stead to tell Nigerians what the main poll in 2019 is going to look like.
Jide, ahead of the election, it's at a time like this, it's not uncommon to have defections. A former Minister of State for Works, Prince Adeyeye, defected from the PDP to the APC.
Yes.
Expectedly?
Yes, because politics is an interest-driven game, and people will go to parties where their interests will be best served. He defected, but you have a woman who actually stepped down for her. That's Olujimi. Olujimi has decided to stay because she sees clearly that they could actually offer her the senatorial seat. Olujimi and Adeyeye are from the same senatorial zone.
Okay.
So now the fact that they've gone separate ways has ensured that, the PDP does not have to live with a rancorous contest for that senatorial seat. So Olujimi now, in exchange for working for the candidate of Fayose, has been offered the senatorial seat, and she's happy.
Or promised?
Promised now.
Okay.
The same thing.
That's offer.
Well, offered.
But not given.
Not two different things.
It's an offer.
Okay.
An offer. It does not actually mean actuality.
Okay.
She's been offered, and on the basis of that, she's prepared to work for them. So it's going to be an interesting contest, the way I see it. It's going to be an interesting contest. I was happy to see Ojudu actually mount the podium to campaign for Fayemi, because these are people who have not been friends for some time. You know.
And as we say in politics, what's the word now? Stupidity is not a weakness. Anything is possible in politics. I hear that in the business of smuggling across the world, it's not how fast you go, but how far you go fast, if you get that. In our climb, smuggling and all those connected to the ring have gone farther than they have gone faster. This explains why the illicit business is the most organized way of life in our country. But then smuggling must be appreciated in the light of our border crossings, which have decidedly remained porous. The federal government of Nigeria has decided to shut our border with an unnamed neighboring country, Agriculture Minister Aduogbe hinted that the action would be taken in a few days' time. According to the cabinet minister, the neighbor in question was bent on destroying Nigeria's economy by discouraging production of rice. Jide?
Yes, the critics of the government actually taunt it, that you keep saying you saved so much money by encouraging local production of rice. Actually, the figures show that Nigeria saved $5.49 billion from rice importation between 2015 and now, and that we have actually increased paddy rice production from 5 million tons in 2015 to 12.2 million tons in 2018. But in Nigeria today, the consumption of imported rice is greater than consumption.
Why is this?
Because the smugglers still find a way to bring it in. And many Nigerians prefer the imported rice because they think, oh, it's more sophisticated, it has not got stones and all that. But the minister said something that when you consume Thai rice, you're actually consuming poison. To an extent, it's right, because the rice that they sent to us here,
parboiled,
that they sent to us here from Thailand, some of them have been in the warehouses for up to 10 years. When they can't sell, what they do is they just push them to the feed mills. So that's why when you cook some of the rice that they send to us here, you feel no aroma at all. But cook the local rice, you feel some aroma. Because this rice had been there in the storehouses for so long, the nutrients are gone. So it's partly right in saying that there is excessive smuggling of rice into our country. So it defeats the effort of government to let us have a preponderance of local rice. Go to the major rice markets here in Lagos, Daleko and the rest of them. How many bags of local rice are you going to find? So the consumption...
Is the problem here availability, or...
There is the availability of the small good version, of the small good rice.
Cost implication?
And it is also now, it is less costly than the local rice.
I wonder if you are listening.
It's less costly.
I understand.
The imported, you can get you know the reason these smugglers have refused to back down? Because they make so much money from smuggling. Across the border, they can bring it in for as low as 5,000 naira to 6,000 naira. And they will come and sell it at more than double the price here. I'm telling you. So now, what the government needs to do is, I hear that, oh, they are concentrating on the western frontier, that is actually the major route.
Yeah.
But if you go to Katsina State, go to places like Zango and Daura, go to even Daura, the hometown of the president, where you have Meyadua, the major border post in that area. Many people in that area, they are smugglers. They live there. They survive.
It's a way of life.
They survive based on smuggling. So smuggling is very rampant in northern Nigeria. Before we even talk about Jibia, Jibia is the headquarters of smuggling in Nigeria.
Is it in the map?
No,
I haven't quite.
So they bring in rice. They bring in rice. Go to Meyadua, go to those communities, Zongo and Daura. You see that smuggled rice is what people are selling. So unless we are able to do something about this rampant smuggling, the efforts of the government will not
I'm
show.
fighting to believe him, because I'm told, I want to believe they are right, we have more than 30 varieties of local rice.
We have rice now. But whether we have enough is another matter too. Yeah. Because, I mean, yes, we say that there's so much of the imported version, which is largely smuggled into the market, and that we don't have much of the local. Now, those who are producing the local are also not complaining that their storehouses are brimming with supplies. In other words, it appears that what they are able to produce still ends up being bought, and yet probably inadequate for the markets. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I think. So we also need to improve on the supply on the supply side so that we can meet up with the demand.
Sorry, let me quickly take Johnson. He's here again. Johnson, I greet you. Yes, Brother Johnson, let's go. Hey, Brother Johnson, are you there?
With his phone.
Not quite right.
I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
let's
here.
go, let's go.
I can talk.
Go on, sir.
Yes, I thank Mr. Jide. Jide, you are doing a very good job.
All of us are. Praise us too.
You are doing
It is a team.
Don't let people, they're jealous. Just everybody.
Go on, Johnson, go on,
They are
Johnson.
smuggling rice because the Nigerian rice that they are producing here, they can use it in only white rice. It cannot do any jollof rice or fried rice.
That's another
That is
angle
the
to it.
problem of the reason why they are still smuggling it. Then, and you know that Nigerians, they are mainly eating jollof rice. It's jollof rice that we are eating most.
You must be a jollof rice addict.
That is the problem.
Yeah, Brother Johnson.
And Nigerian jollof rice is better than Senegal.
Nigerian, yeah.
Don't bring that debate again.
Please don't. Yeah, but as we're saying, more than 30 varieties of rice. We're talking by Nigeria. You were wondering if the availability is...
Yes, if it's not a factor in the matter, really. And I think we need to... Because if you... Another thing is, when you say you shut the borders, and we say we have more than thousands of borders, if you like, with other countries, you shut the official borders, where you have the capacity.
Still bring them in.
You still bring them in through the unofficial routes.
Without shutting the unofficial ones.
You can't shut the unofficial routes because there are too many, and you don't have enough.
If you know them.
There are more than 4,000 illegal routes
So
into our country.
that's a major problem. But it's good that we are concerned about our economy. It's good that we want to
Look inwards.
look inwards.
Yeah.
And
But we must pay a
And
price.
protect our industry.
it has to be at a price. I agree, as it were. We must pay some price. But we must also have enough to meet the demands.
The
of the
shortfall,
market.
yes. Sam, look at these countries. Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin. One thing in common, they are our neighbors. Yeah. You don't need to shut our borders with them. If you go into a multilateral arrangement with them, you can stem it. Don't you think? Am I wrong? Am I right? Or is this smuggling the other way around?
One fact that we have to appreciate here is that the business of importation is also benefiting these countries, and that is why they seem to be invested in it, or they seem to have allowed it to, to continue to
importation
to run.
as opposed to smuggling.
No, they are diverting the
product itself.
They are diverting it to their countries, and they
make revenue from it
because you have to clear the goods.
I hear their ports are
they are better run and faster.
Yeah, and I think that is the issue. If you're looking at our neighbors, and we want to begin to hazard a guess here that when the minister spoke, he apparently was referring, because he mentioned seaport. So in contrast to what may have been said here, I think that we could be narrowing the suspect here to Benin.
And that's why we are saying, we are reminding him that that's not the only...
Yeah, so back to the issue of getting our neighbors to appreciate what we are going through. I have this radical,
attitude.
Position that I want to hold. If you feel sufficiently that your national interest is being terribly hurt, as may have been suggested by the minister, and we have a neighbor who
is a prime suspect.
Yeah, who's not just a prime suspect, whose leader we appear to have helped to emerge. If you feel sufficiently threatened, countries do it, especially when their interest is threatened. Yeah. They go for regime change. It is done.
You are not canvassing.
If we have the capacity.
Yeah, if you have the capacity. But the minister spoke in a manner suggesting that this is more of sabotage.
Sam, briefly, we are joined by Shaya here in Lagos. Shaya, welcome.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yeah, I greet you.
Yes, my concern is very, very simple. Does it mean if we close the borders, other goods that are meant to come into the country would not come in? Rice is only 2% of the GDP of Nigeria. You are closing the border and then you are leaving 98% out just because a particular product is being smuggled into the country. From the economic point of view, that is not a good thing at all. So I believe that is one thing that should be specified and Nigerians should really know about.
This is why, Shaye, we provoke debates like this.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
So I was going to say that that move, as canvassed by the minister, is escapist, which is the point that is being made. Because rice is just one of the many items that is smuggled into this country. The worry here is that we seem to have a very large appetite for rice. Jide read out some stats. He didn't talk about annual national consumption, which has been put about 4.5
metric tons.
Yeah, metric tons annually.
We are the world's number one importer
out of that,
rice.
We import almost 50% of it. And the stats also say that we spend $5 million every day importing rice.
Before now.
Which comes to about $2 billion.
But they no longer spend that kind of money.
But government is also saying because of the anchor borrower scheme and all that, a lot of savings have been made. Yes, we have from 5 million rice farmers to
12.2 million.
Yeah, million, farmers, and that has added so much, value to the economy. So, yes, we need to watch our borders, but shutting these borders wouldn't be a solution because those who are stakeholders in this business have argued that if you shut the borders, there'll be job losses, okay, and investments in those areas, which amount to about $10 billion, 10 billion naira, about that figure, will be lost. So government has to have a holistic view of the entire challenge that is facing us at the borders.
I guess what government wants to achieve is that they believe that if we bring the government there to its knees, they will be forced to negotiate. They did it sometime with Benin Republic. And the president had to rush
the first time.
And that within a short period
of time. Exactly,
the armed robber. And by the time it comes, what he's suggesting about government to government, they will be able to do something about it. But I'm just concerned about the economics of it all. It's true that we're encouraging farming in Nigeria. It's true that sufficiency is being promoted here. But at the same time, in the short run, what do we do about the shortfall?
Jide, we cannot discuss this without broaching, the subject of our penchant for imported things, in this case, rice. Yes. Talk about poultry products. I hear the substance they use in preserving them is injurious to health.
Yes, it's true. But getting our people to go off frozen products, imported frozen products is very difficult. It's as difficult as telling them not to eat imported rice. We have to, I do not believe that we have reached
sufficiency
level, self-sufficiency level, because even the manner in which we grow rice has to become more sophisticated. The yield per hectare will improve when we become really, when we bring in technology and all that into rice production. Yes.
I thought I heard Thailand wanted to do a little something with us.
A lot of what you read about Thailand, Thailand, that they are politics, just lies. Lies by Nigerian officials who have no shame. Let's not bring all of those. If the truth is, Thailand, as an exporter of rice, is not facing any strain. If you look at the current stats from their country, it's not facing any strain. And in any case, big-time importers of rice would divert rice that they have imported to the ports run by your neighbors because they know that they are more efficiently run. And from there, it can come into our country. I thought I would have...
So you have it, but let me quickly take the last but not the least call. Adeshina is here. Welcome. You are in Lagos.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to the guests in the studio.
Yes, sir.
I greet all of you for a good job done there.
Thank you.
You see, I wouldn't know why a minister will just come on air to a nation of about 170 million and say the solution to checkmate the importation of rice is to close the borders without looking all other options and looking at the disadvantage that it goes with it. But now we believe so much on theory than on practicals. If you do his market survey, you will discover that even the local rice is not available. It's not even available everywhere. I eat rice almost every day. Tell me the type of rice I eat. It's the imported rice. In canteens, these are the rice you see that is being sold here. That's why we between ourselves. If they don't do their market survey, if this local rice is readily available everywhere and it's cheaper, people will there's no need for you to worry yourself about closing the border.
Thank you, sir. But at the rate we are going, Jide, I may be wrong, I have a sneaky feeling that even if you flooded the whole country with locally produced rice,
it will take years.
A tall order
before our people begin to consume.
It's about taste.
Rice as much as we wanted to.
And persuasion.
Yes, it will take a long while. Just as he said, in most eateries, in most restaurants, it is the imported rice that people sell. It is the imported rice because it is cheaper. It is cheaper for them. So people, and that's what most people will ask for, except we want to buy ofada. So in any case, if you block the border here, there are so many places through which, if we punish Benin Republic, they will bring it through Niger. And the borders, our borders with Niger are even more porous than our borders with Benin Republic. Yeah, okay. So rice will still come in.
All right, gentlemen, again, let the debate continue. But let me thank the trio here, Babajide, Kolade, Otitoju. Many thanks for your time.
Thanks.
You enjoy rice?
I'll stop eating rice.
Stop eating rice?
Yes.
What about Mobolade or Monijo?
I still eat rice.
You cherish your rice?
But I prefer the local one.
Okay.
Frankly, I prefer the lake rice.
Sami Bemi.
I do ofada.
I do ofada too.
And that's because I enjoy it.
But on that note, let me thank the Lagos State government for the lake rice. I have a bag. I haven't exhausted it. So that's it for today. There's another program tomorrow, but watch a repeat of this broadcast at 11 tonight, and also watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on the screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel remains the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now.